welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for coming. And today we're going to be unboxing or unbagging my Royalty Scents subscription for the month of September. So this is my first time doing a Royalty Scents video. I did talk about doing one several months back when I did my first Purple Luxe. The reason why I haven't is because I haven't gotten my Royalty Scents bag for a couple of months. It seems like they changed their website a couple months ago and there was some confusion and my subscription got paused. So in August, I restarted my subscription and I have received my first bag for September. So for those of you who don't know, Royalty Scents is a fragrance subscription. It's similar to Purple Luxe or Scentbird, if you've heard of that as well, where you receive a travel size or a trial size fragrance each month. Each of their fragrances that they send are also 8 milliliters, which is the same that you get in Purple Luxe or in Scentbird. The difference with Royalty Scents is that they have a ton more high-end, expensive, niche brands or designer brands that you don't really see a lot of on Purple Luxe or Scentbird. You do see some of these fragrances, but there is a lot more variation and variety in terms of higher end, high priced fragrances on Royalty Scents. They especially have a lot of Tom Ford, which you don't really see much of on the other two subscriptions. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a Tom Ford on there. They have plenty of other high-end brands. They have Creed, they have Dior, and they have a lot of the Christian Dior. I don't know what it's called, private label. They have a lot of those. And a bunch of other brands that I don't tend to see a lot of on either of those other subscription sites, which is why I have opted to continue/renew my Royalty Scent subscription to get some scents that I can't find elsewhere. And these are the type of scents that I particularly like to have these subscriptions for, because these are the fragrances that are crazy expensive, that I'm never, ever, ever going to blind buy, because bottles go for $200, $300, $400. I'm not blind buying that. And a lot of them you can't try in store, and the way the world is right now, in-store try-ons are less available in some places. So this works out really well for me. The one thing to note with Royalty Scents is that it is a little more expensive than the other subscriptions, and I believe that's because the scents they offer, again, are more expensive. So for one fragrance each month, it's $19.99, or you can do 2 fragrances a month for $36.99, which is what I did. And you can change your plan at any time, you can discontinue at any time. The site, now that it's revamped and I'm back into my subscription, it's very easy to use. You can alter your fragrance choices at any point. So if you are someone who's looking to try these higher end, more expensive fragrances that you're not seeing on these other websites, this is a great option for you to try. So my fragrances were just sent in this pretty gold bubble mailer. They come in their own Royalty Scents packaging. On the outside, there will be a sticker, a gold sticker telling you which fragrances are included inside. And each fragrance does come in one of these roll-up, roll-down travel canisters. The only thing is that Scentbird doesn't come with one of these every single month. They give you one of these metal roll-up canisters that you can trade in and out. Purple Luxe and Royalty Scents send you a travel canister for every fragrance that they send. So that is a benefit if you like to take more than one with you at a time. If you're somebody who only takes one on vacation or throws one in your bag, having to trade it in and out isn't that big of a deal. So the first scent I got this month is by Kilian, Love Don't Be Shy. Now, this fragrance is the very raved about fragrance that was made very popular by Rihanna. People always rave how good she smells. You hear in all the interviews, I met Rihanna and she smelled great and she was amazing, da da da. And people asked her what she was wearing, and I know in one interview she said that her signature fragrance is by Kilian, Love Don't Be Shy. And aside from her, this is a perfume that gets very high ratings in the fragrance world, and it's something that I've been interested in trying. reading the notes and everything, I wasn't sure that it was going to be my type of fragrance because it is listed as an amber fragrance. But because I can try them out in subscriptions like this and not have to pay a ton of money, I was still interested enough to give it a try. By Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy. A 1.7 ounce bottle or 50 ml bottle is $240. A 7.5 ml travel spray, which is smaller than what we got 8 mls, is $48. And we paid $19.99. In fact, we actually paid a little less because I got 2 fragrances for $36.99. So we paid about $18.50 a piece. This fragrance came out in 2007, which surprised me. I thought this was a relatively newer fragrance. So let's go ahead and give it a spray. I am going to spray it on the fragrance strip first. If I'm not totally turned off by it, if it's not something that I find unpleasant, I will also spray it on my skin. Somebody did say in my comments that they wish that I would try it on my skin because it does change things, and I agree. Things change very much on the skin. It can make a huge difference. And in videos like this where I'm only trying 1 or 2 fragrances, I don't mind trying it on the skin for first-time tries. But in videos where I'm doing hauls of a lot of fragrances that I'm trying for the first time, I obviously don't have enough skin to be spraying several fragrances on my body. Plus, when you spray that many, you kind of lose a little bit of the uniqueness of that scent because sometimes they blend together. But we're only doing 2 today, so we'll do stick first, and if I'm not finding it offensive, I'll go ahead and spray it on one of my wrists. Oh, the juice is pink. Get out of the bottle. Oh yeah, this is what it looks like pulling it out of the travel canister. Not what I was expecting. There's a little bit of a suntanny lotion note. There's a little bit of a powdery note. There's definitely that warmness that amber has. There's a sweetness to it as well. And a little bit of a floral note. I think some of the suntanny lotion note that I'm getting is coming from the warmness of the amber and the floral. There's just a touch of that on the strip. It's not unpleasant. It's not something that I'm immediately wowed by. But it's really not anything special. I mean, there's something a little different about it, but it's not wholly unique to me. Well, let's put this on my skin. I'm going to spray it a little further down. I sprayed some perfume on my wrist this morning, like 12 hours ago at this point, but I'll put it a little further down just in case. Now I'm going to give that a moment to dry down, sit on the skin, and develop a little bit. In the meantime, let's talk about the notes. So the top notes are neroli, bergamot, pink pepper, and lavender. I'm not getting a ton of pepperiness. Lavender, I can see that a little bit. It has a little bit of like an essential oily type of vibe to it. Not overwhelmingly, but it has a little bit of that earthiness that essential oils tend to have. And the middle notes are orange blossom, jasmine, rose, iris, and honeysuckle. Rose might be giving it that little touch of powderiness that it has. But again, none of these are like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I'm smelling. I'm not getting any stars coming through based on reading the notes. And the base notes are sugar, caramel, vanilla, musk, labdanum, which is a plant, and civet, which is an animal. So I'm assuming it's a specific animal musk that they're using. But considering that there's sugar, vanilla, and caramel, it's not overly sweet. It's a light sweetness. It's definitely a sweetness that is blending with all of the other notes that are in this perfume. But where I sprayed it, my skin looks a little oily. Yeah, and when I touch it, it's oily too. So I don't know what that's about. I would be careful about spraying this on your clothes because of the oiliness. Yeah, it doesn't smell any different on my skin. On the skin, it's maybe a little sweeter. I definitely think it's something I could try to wear. In a way, it intriguing to me. It's pretty. It smells clean. It smells soft. That's definitely the word for it. It smells soft. It smells gentle. It smells a little comforting. There's just enough interest to it that you're like, but I'm curious about it. So I can see why people like this. I definitely can. As for the hype of it being as amazing as some people say, I'm on the fence about that. But I'd have to wear it, obviously, long term to determine how I really feel about it. If it's something that I enjoy for more than just a few minutes, because sometimes after a few minutes, scents that smell good in the beginning start to turn. For me, it satisfied my curiosity so that enough so that I'm pleased with the purchase. Whether or not I'll keep it, I'll have to see. I'll have to wear it a couple times to decide. All right, and then our other fragrance came in a slightly different canister. So you won't get the same canister every single time. Something to be aware of in case that matters to you. And I got Tom Ford's Bitter Peach. Now I'm going to roll this up just to see what the fluid is like. It's just like a basic colored fluid. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the Kilian. I'm going to spray it first, determine if it's palatable enough for me to try on the skin. Now this fragrance is relatively new. It was released in 2020, and this one also got a lot of hype. Now I don't think it was as well loved as the Kilian fragrance. I think this was a pretty decently liked fragrance. So let's give it a smell. Okay, this one is different. This is definitely a different scent. In the air before I brought it up to my nose, I was getting a lot of liquor smells. I'm not well versed enough to say what kind of liquor notes I think it is. I mean, it's not a tequila or a vodka. It's probably something more refined or something that I'm not used to drinking, but there is a little bit. It's not an alcoholic note like when you get the alcoholic smell from a perfume, but it's got that like rich liquor that's like aged and a little more refined and has a little bit more of a scent, a little bit of more of a fragrance note to it that's more pleasant. But when you put it up to your nose, I mean, you still get some of that liquor note when you put it up to your nose that is bright in this, but you get the peach as well. It's not a slap you in the face, super sweet kind of peach, but that's not what's to be expected in a fragrance. It's called bitter peach. You're not expecting a super fruity, girly, young smelling peach. You're expecting an older, more mature, more complex peach note. And that's exactly what you're getting. I can see why they call it bitter peach. There's like a slight touch of, like, I don't want to say sour. Probably bitter is the word for it. It's dry. It's not a juicy peach. It's a dry peach. They said that this fragrance is considered an amber vanilla fragrance. I'm not really getting amber or vanilla. If it's in there, it's definitely well blended. They're not stars. The liquor and the peach and maybe like a woody note is more prominent than amber or vanilla. So I'm surprised that they categorize it as an amber vanilla scent. It's definitely something that I could say is unisex. I actually don't know if they consider this fragrance unisex or not. I'll look it up and pop it up on the screen to let you know. But it smells unisex to me. It's definitely not leaning towards traditional feminine in any way, shape, or form. But it's not overly masculine where I'd say someone who doesn't like masculine scents couldn't wear this. So I'm intrigued enough to try this on my skin, so I'll spray it on the other arm. So we'll give that a couple minutes to dry down and kind of do its magic. And in the meantime, let's talk about the notes. So the top notes in Bitter Peach are peach, of course, blood orange, heliotrope, and cardamom. I can see the cardamom. There is definitely a mild underlying spiciness, that I think is giving it some of that dry smell. The middle notes are rum, cognac, Davana, jasmine. So again, those notes all make sense to me. Rum and cognac, those are the liquor notes we were talking about. Makes sense that those are the two that are in this fragrance specifically. And the base notes are Indonesian patchouli, vetiver, vanilla, sandalwood, tonka bean, cashmeran, and benzoin, and styrax, which is a plant, and again, labdanum. The cashmeran, I don't really smell at all. The vanilla, I don't really smell either. The patchouli, I do, not specifically, but again, it's giving it a little bit of that earthiness to it. I don't really know what styrax or labdanum smell like, so I can't really speak to that. But again, everything's so well blended, it's hard for me to say what I'm picking up, other than the peach and the liquor notes being strong. Everything else, you can tell there's more to it, but everything else is well mixed, well blended, balanced. It's nothing else is outshining or making itself known. So now that it's dried down on the skin, it smells again about the same as it did on the strip for me, at least. I'm maybe getting a little bit more earthiness. It's not a scent that I'm like, ooh, it makes me feel sexy. It's not a scent that makes me feel happy. It's intelligent. The vibe it gives off is intelligent. Cognac or a wine or a scotch, sommelier or something. It's mature, it's intellectual. There's something like a little mysterious about it. And they're not necessarily throwing their intellect in their face, but they know that they're smart type of thing. That's the vibe I get from this. But it's very different from anything that I have. I don't own anything like this. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a favorite. I don't know if this is something I'm going to wear a lot or something that I'll keep. I'm going to have to wear this and see how I feel about it. But it's definitely interesting, and it definitely makes me want to wear it and try it out because of how different it is. It would be cool to be seen that way. I don't think it necessarily fits me or my personality. That's definitely not who I am in any way, shape, or form. It's nice to pretend you are for a night every once in a while, right? I mean, that's what fragrance can do for you. Make you feel something, bring out a part of your personality for a night that you don't usually experience or get to live vicariously through. So, but again, talking about price, a 1.7 fluid ounce bottle or 50 ml bottle is $368. I don't like it that much. And a 10 ml travel spray, which is only 2 mls larger than what we get here, is $75. And we paid, what, $18.50? This is the deal. This is why these subscriptions are so good. You get to try these crazy fragrances. You get equivalent to what they get for travel sprays for half the price, a third of the price, a quarter of the price, a fifth of the price, sometimes less. So if you're interested in any of these fragrances, even if there's only 3, 4, 5 of them that you want to try, do the subscription for a couple months, cancel it, and get the ones that you wanted and cut your losses. You really can't go wrong. But I very much enjoyed this unboxing. It was very different. These fragrances were very different. I liked being able to try out high-end fragrances that I otherwise never would. Have any of you guys tried Royalty Scents? Have you found that it's been worthwhile? Are you finding that the fragrance options are different from other fragrance subscriptions? And which ones have you gotten so far? Are they winners? Are they losers? What do you think? Put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you again in the future, but if not, I'm just glad you stopped by for today, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.